Good morning to you. Want to talk about the last quarter, want to talk about the guidance going forward, and I do want to talk about the safety issue in terms of some of the steps that you're taking around that, and also to the extent that those may be headwinds to the business going forward.
Great to be here, Andrew. We just came off a banner year, 2025, on our really way to 10% of all gaming running on Roblox. As you noted, bookings growth was up. Our DAU growth was up 69% year on year. We're seeing growth and in all age ranges. Japan was up 160% year on year. And as you correctly noted, we've taken the initiative in implementing what we call the gold standard for safety and civility online. As part of that, we're age checking every single daily user on the platform. We're well on our way. And we found
Benzinga Pro Squawk has disconnected.
At over 18% a year. So really firing on all cylinders coming off 25.
I think it's an ambitious effort to try to verify all of these ages. What does that do in terms of how you think about the growth story, though?
We're really optimistic about the growth story. You know, we asked our teams as we've rolled out Age Check, and we started in the end of last year, and now we're well on our way to really make this a no friction event. And as part of rolling out this, we've improved our matchmaking. We're improving the way our text filter works. We're improving the way we put people together to play games. And we also have a lot of other things on our horizon. So we are seeing this as a neutral to actually positive event for engagement as we build out the way people communicate. I want to highlight we're now connecting people more closely with people of their own age as they communicate on Roblox. And there's a lot more safety innovations to come. You know, as we shared, this is something we lean into. It's our top priority. We innovate and work on this every day. And I would say, while no system is perfect, we've taken a really big industry leadership position here in doing Age Check. We've seen other companies start to follow this, which I think is a good sign that we're leading here.
AI, everyone's talking about AI. I know you've offered some new creation tools for developers. Ultimately, how much is AI going to both either power your business, change the landscape in terms of your own costs, change even the way kids play on Roblox?
You hit it right there, changing the way kids play, and we'll circle back to that. We've been an AI company for over 4 years. We're running over 400 internally created AI models, and they're running efficiently, primarily on our own infrastructure, powering everything from safety to discovery to our voice safety model that we've open sourced, to a new model that we've now just launched this week called our 4D generation model, which allows users in a game through a text prompt to start building things in the game with AI. Time and time again, we've seen the more power and infrastructure we give our creators, the more they come up with new types of games. Dress to Impress was unique as, you know, literally a game that captured the imagination of millions of people about participating in a competitive fashion show. Or last summer, Grow a Garden, which brought forward the notion that your garden can grow even while you're not playing, and powered a peak on our platform of 45 million people at the same time. Going forward, AI is going to make Roblox more photorealistic. It's going to power NPCs or players that can play alongside of you, in addition to allow more and more people to create.
In terms, though, of what I wonder is whether kids will have their own agents or bots effectively acting on behalf of them. I know that may sound a little wild to conceive of.
Andrew, you're reading our product roadmap. Nice job. Just as AI is becoming more and more agentic on traditional desktop applications, and I think especially in the coding realm, but in other realms, people are starting to have AI fire up and do work behind the scenes when they're not there. We do see a future where, in a privacy compliant way and in a very safe way, for those users on Roblox who want to have a virtual doppelganger to go out and do some work, they'll be able to have that. And I can imagine a parent like me having a, once again, safe and privacy compliant doppelganger who could go play with my kids for half an hour, acting a lot like me and being in a way trained on the way I behave.
But does that mean ultimately I mean, look, there's lots of games where people are playing against some kind of digital companion that's actually not a real person. But when you think about like the number of users on these systems, do you think we're going to get, trying to do age verification? Are we going to get to a point where it's, it's humans and agents? How does that change the dynamic in terms of advertising, thinking about sort of who's actually seeing certain things or not seeing certain things? Is it your agent that's I mean, you can see how sort of, it sounds like a philosophical question, but it's actually a practical one.
I think it's a practical one. At our core, our mission is to connect 1 billion daily users with
Yeah, you got to disconnect that or that'll have feedback, and just set up 2 Zoom screens. Hey guys, good morning to the few, to the proud. I'm on a little earlier. I'm just setting these up for today. I did add, one of the things I did on this is I just added the 100, the 50, and the 200 daily moving average on the 5-minute. I thought on a quick glance it's going to help me. Hopefully you saw the recap video. It did come back yesterday, ended up with like $120. Got Nvidia, it was like 30 something dollars down at the end rather than like 800. So that was good. And then I made a little money on a few of the other stocks to get it up to 120. It really didn't take long. I had an alert set for NVIDIA to come back to that price. And then I jumped back on this account and got out of that position. I wasn't trying to profit. I just didn't have the time. So, and just took a few more trades real quick just to get our goal. And it can be just that easy, but when you get stuck in that, again, I was playing a bias that, you can't count on anything, right? And this whole idea that that there's a bubble, this is just a way for them to make money. For you guys that are here this morning, I'm just going to tell you, this is a manipulation of the market. Check with other sources. If you don't believe me, I see it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And it's one of the reasons why you don't want to set your stop loss. You want to have it mentally set and have an alert that goes off, because everybody sees it and they just, the dollar goes up, gold and silver goes down. They get everybody panics, and they scoop up all your orders, and they make a fortune, and then they raise it right back up. Who do you think controls whether or not the dollar is going to go up or down with tariff announcements and war announcements and all that? So anything that's wound up around that, and it's affecting crypto too. I think crypto did hit its bottom. I've been mentioning that everybody's been watching that. But when you have a team in office right now that can make anything happen at any moment, they're getting billions and billions of dollars manipulating it. I don't know if this is ever going to be, anybody's going to ever do prison time for this kind of stuff. But it just seems like people can do anything they want now, and they just get richer and richer and richer, and then all the retail traders bear the brunt. So my advice, and of course I can't give you legal advice, but if you're in a position, don't panic, because if it's supposed to go a certain way and suddenly it's diving, it's like, it's gonna come back. This is the thing, it's gonna come back. So anyway, I just, obviously you have to be careful, but I'm mumbling now. I can't stand the market manipulation and all the people falling for it, and they all bail and get out in fear, and then 3 days later it's right back where it was, and it happens over and over and over again. And that's why, it really just comes down to share size and what, can you weather the storm? Because I'm certainly not suggesting you go past your max loss. So you have to look at a wide range and then tell yourself, like, can I hold this through market manipulation if it goes to a much higher range, if it goes down quite a bit. So if you're thinking of having 500 shares, maybe you should only have 50. Maybe not get so greedy to make that kind of big money so that you can weather the storm if somebody does some shenanigans like they've been doing with the chips right now. There's no shortage of people wanting chips for AMD and NVIDIA and all that. They're not, we know Google's going to do their own, but there's no shortage of that, guys. No, the stock's going to come back. What could happen to make it down is more like, the midterm terms are elections, switch it. And I don't want to get political here, but, Trump loses his power, and then that might really emotionally affect some things, because big companies can no longer buy the loyalty of the office or whatever and get all their things approved, and all those backdoor shenanigans will all stop, and there'll be oversight committees on everything, and obviously that would affect the market. So then you go short, and you find the stocks that do move, But generally, all these things are just going to come. And now we know the whole software problem with Anthropic and how they're basically, all those companies like Salesforce and all that. Those things are getting hit hard. You ever seen the building in San Francisco? The Salesforce building looks like a giant penis. It's this huge. But I mean, they've got billions. But yeah, now AI is not only going to be able to create all the software, but they're going to have an assistant put it all to work for you. I was just reading all the news, and we just were talking about all this stuff. But so I'll wait to go over the bias, however it helps, to where we have when I start to record live for everybody. See, I'm trying to get the Squawk connected on Benzinga Pro, and it seems to be having some issues. But I was setting up some of the stocks I'm interested in right now, at least with the fibs, to try to save some time. Just hit 9 right now. Amazon got bad news. Let's see what that's doing. That's an old. Now, you know, the way I trade here, you guys can go higher share size. Somebody was saying, oh, you don't trade like you do, you know, on the RV strategy. It's like, no, it's right. I'm not doing that because I'm slightly terrified that you guys are going to follow, and then you're going to lose everything you had. You know, if I make a mistake, because you know, you saw what happened yesterday. It can happen to anybody at any time, really. So, and plus the scalp and recoil isn't really designed for that, this strategy. Short moves, and I had it on that NVIDIA. That before it went down, I had profit and I didn't take it. If you go back and look, and I was starting to fall into that other kind of trading, which is what happens sometimes. I forget what strategy I'm trading and I go to hold it longer. And if I'm going to do that, then there's all kinds of things I would do to make money on that position that I couldn't do trading it this way. Hopefully you've been listening to what all that would be. 47.70. I'm trying to get these fibs right. I don't think I'm going to do anything more than a 10-day on Amazon. I mean, the only thing we'd probably want to do on Amazon is short, unless it might recover because it's done its big drop, and then we might see a climb. But a 2-day isn't really going to help on this, so I'll keep the 10-day fib up on Amazon. It's not going to be my first go-to for sure. If you look at the consolidation scanner, here's kind of our thing. So let me do IREN here. What's that look like today? Now, I know a lot of you guys continue to trade throughout the day and are doing really good on this strategy, and it's so good to hear that, because you don't need me, to do this. You want to learn the strategy so that at any time you can just jump right in and do it. And then we talked about me coming on at a different time, but I really didn't get any good responses about doing that. So, but I am starting to think that the strike and recoil strategy might be better literally in the middle of the day, the way the market's moving these days. So it's kind of looking how that fib's doing. Wow, so that went way down too, huh? It's our overall situation here. What's our overall situation here? The SPY went down and then it's coming back. There was a time that we could trade that too for you guys with the smaller accounts, but it's a little out of our league. So is the QQQ. Of course, you could do their derivatives. I used to trade those all the time. Let's see. Let's take a look at Apple. Interesting how Apple started to go down when the tech stocks started to go back up. The chip stock started to go back up. But it's been going up pretty steady here. 79.50. Where is the other end of this? Way over there. This is going to be from low to high. 44.68. Yeah, never going to get it there. I'll do it. Oh. Am I not on the fib? I was. I'll do it 62 and adjust. Yeah, Apple's been pretty good for this strategy, so we might end up here today. I end up not going to a lot of stocks because it starts to work. So why jump around, you know, if you're making the money? But I'm sure there's so many opportunities here that I'm not getting on other stocks. $68. Okay, you are right. Can't hear her if I don't have her. That way she's not coming across all the sound. I feel like I'm in such a vacuum with headphones on. I don't like it. She's in the other room. Hey, I did my workout already this morning, guys. I went to the gym. So what else might we want to... I've done AMD, NVIDIA, IREN, Amazon, MU. I don't like to do the fibs on Tesla. I've done Apple now. Here's your other one. This is the volume scanner. I mean, we could mark. See, here's some of the ones we never go to see what it's like. You know, when the market opens, like Coin and Hood. Those might be interesting to look at. Let's do Palantir. I'm assuming that's fading off again. Yeah, kind of faded way down. I really would like, it's very hard to pick a bias right now. I'd like to trade with a bias so we know which way to get stuck in a trade. I thought NVIDIA yesterday was a long bias. That's what it basically, the data was saying, that it had done its downward move and its so-called correction based on emotional crap. But then it went the other way, came back. And now I think it's way past it, right? If you hold it overnight. Yeah, it's 177. My position was 175. 200 shares. So that's just it, right? If I held that, I would have had like $400 on that little trade rather than negative $30 just to get out for the close of the day, just so I could say, here's our $120. I don't know if I'd be trading this stock, honestly. Part of the software problem, this stock has part of that. We'll see. Yeah. So for you guys struggling, some of the things I've gotten emails about, remember I will be doing that that one-to-one stuff. So if you haven't emailed me that you're interested in that, you should email. I don't. If you haven't received a response yet, don't worry. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure your email isn't lost. By the weekend, I think that'll be caught up on. And Alan's going to be coming back into the office at this upper area and deal with that on the weekend. So get everybody a response. But from what I have been hearing, the problems, particularly I go into a swing and it's like, I can't go into a swing. You know, I'll hit my max loss and then I don't make the money. Yes, that's true. That's what would have happened in that trade yesterday. A lot of people probably hit their max loss. And we're trained to not go past that. And that is the correct move. Absolutely the correct thing to do. Which means you probably struggled to get green, depending on what your max loss was. But if your max loss is pretty low, then it was no problem, you know. And if you just follow me along, then you're going to see that I fall into not really having a max loss, and I fall into a swing. So here's what I would say about that. If you want to trade like that, you need to lower your share size. You need to make sure you're not past margin like what I'm doing so that you can hold it, because I truly believed that NVIDIA would come back, if not that day, the next day, or the next week. I knew, you know, I never feared that would be an actual like red of hundreds of dollars, like $800. I just had to wait it out. But if you can't do that, that means your share size is too high, or you shouldn't be trading that way. You should just get out at your max loss. So conflicting information I'm giving, right? I'm showing the scalp and recoil, but in the end of the day, I'm not going to intentionally lose money if I don't get out. You know, I held it longer because I don't really have that kind of a max loss like you guys. Here I'm going for $10, $20, $30, and you know, I'll get a ridiculing email. You went down $800 to make $20. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is it's green when I'm done with the trade. And I'm, you know, so if you're going to try to compare that, it would seem completely illogical to take that kind of a risk. But it's not a risk if I'm not going to lose that money, right? To me, I don't see that as a risk because I can hold it to make money. And then if I go back in on that day, I just keep the scalp and recoil. So see if you can tear that apart in an email. See if you can tear that logic apart. I definitely have long conversations here with people, you know, professional traders about that. And the difference is that they're not showing people how to make bits of money like I'm doing. So it comes right back around to, well, if you're going to, you know, if you only want to make $100 a day or something like that, then I see what your logic is. They too weren't in fear of losing that trade had they done it. You know, we actually talked about it on a different trade like a couple of months ago. It was the same type of thing that happened, that I was only going for $10 or $20 a trade, and suddenly I was down $1,000. It's like, what kind of logic is that to show somebody how to trade, you know? And then I'd say, look, guys, don't follow me, because I can add to that position that 100 shares and make it 5,000 shares and get out on a pop, you know, or I can hold it for a week. I mean, I'm not going to intentionally lose money just to show the lesson. So I guess the thought would be, well, you wouldn't intentionally lose money if you got out at a max loss. I was like, yeah, I didn't really have a max loss, but I mean, yeah, but I let it ride because I thought I could make the money on it, right? I let it ride. So that's where the teaching and the lesson go bye-bye. It's like you're on your own, and in the end, you have to look out at what's best for you. So if you want to even think about kind of the trading that I do when I hold into a swing, and I start to talk about it, I may hold this in the swing. I mean, it's not like it's a total surprise. As I start to go down $50 or $100, guys, I think I might hold this into a swing. And that's when you're going to say to yourself, well, I can't do that, so I'm going to bail. You know, so it's not like it should be a complete surprise. You know, I don't know. I can't be responsible, you know, for you guys. I'm sorry. I trade different ways. The scalp and recoil works amazingly well. You just get out for your max loss on a trade that's going bad that I'm holding into a swing. And I don't do it all the time. I take the hits. And then you make the money on your 85% accuracy by looking for the, you know, not scalp and recoil. What am I calling it? Strike and recoil. When you see a strike up or down and then hit the recoil, you have to have it in your mind. Hey, I'm going for $6. Hey, I'm going for $10. And if it suddenly only is $2 or $3 and starting to go the other way and only hitting $2 or $3 and then suddenly only $1, well, you just get out of that trade because the strike already happened and the recoil isn't giving you what you want. So you need to find a different one. So you don't wait for it to be profitable. Get out for just $1 or get out for only $1 down or whatever. It didn't work. And then more likely than not, as you watch the price action, they will work. They'll work. They'll work time and time and time again. It's called scalping, and it's not, I'm trying to make it seem simple, the strike recoil for you to think about maybe a snake and you're just getting in the opposite direction to make it kind of stick like that's what scalping is. That's, unless you're just buying the dip and going up. But being able to go both ways, of course, gives you all this freedom. So, I don't know. I hope I made a good point there. But yeah, it's all trading's hard anyway, and it's mostly hard to control yourself. And again, you can't follow me down a rabbit hole of red if you can't also do the tricks that I can do and get out. You can't do it. You just get out then. Just get out. Get out $50 down. Whatever it is, you will make the money back if you follow the basic scalping rules. You'll make it back. And if you're shaky and it's just too scary, then lower your share size down to 1. Have some fun with it, right? If you're totally stressed out and it's only about the money, you're gonna fail. Sorry, maybe not. Maybe you'll be the best trader in the world. I don't know. But I think it's a bad start to be nervous and have to make this money. You have to make this money. That's the recipe for failure. It's a recipe for failure. That's the better way to say it. It's a recipe for failure. Not trying to be a bummer here, because I believe whoever is listening to me, you can make it. Everybody can do this. You can make it. I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. I don't think any other professional trader is. I think they're a different area of their journey, and they're, and they have bad days too, and they've learned to control themselves. It's a confidence level to control yourself. When I go down the $800, did you see me scream at the screen? No. If that was 800,000, I probably would react. So I'm not completely dead to emotion, but but you need to have that feeling like nerves of steel, like it doesn't matter. So what share size is that for you? What can you handle? Nerves of steel, and then start having fun with it. I really enjoy trading, and I enjoy scalping more than anything else. When I was first raising my share size, I got, I had anxiety. If you go back to some of my older videos when I switched from swing trading to just scalping, and you listen to what I was saying, I had $100 a day and then $500 a day. And when I started trading with other people, they were looking at my accuracy and they were saying, like, what the heck are you doing? Why don't you raise your share size? You have the account size. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't have the confidence to do that. It's just like, and then, yeah, they convinced me with the way they were trading, And then, I, of course, was doing momentum trading, which is extremely risky, where you're doing 5,000 shares, all at once. And then this just became so, I didn't even feel it, losing money and being only 60% accurate and having, $3,000 negative trades and then $5,000 positive trades. And they just started to not matter anymore, because at the end of the day, when your accuracy was that good, you had money. At the end of the month, you were making money, and it was all part of the deal, right? You had to do that. But like Mark Douglas says in Trading in the Zone, right? Plan on losing 20 trades in a row at your share size. Can you handle that? He says something like that. I don't know if it's word for word, but are you going to be able to handle that? Because if you can't, then, you probably should lower your share size. And if you continue to have 20 negative trades in a row, then you need to really work on your game, But it's getting in the zone, Trading in the Zone, that book that I have a link to, as you know. You just start to just see it and feel it. And of course, all these indicators are, in my opinion, really help. It's one of the reasons I created them. And Thinkorswim likes them, and they're all legal on their platform. Seeing that action in the moment, being able to predict the future based on what's just happening or what just happened in the past, giving you a better edge to predict what's about to happen. That's all they do. But man, they work. Knowing the average of what's been happening so you don't have to calc it and then setting a target, that works. That stuff works, man. And then, of course, this showing that that's going to go up. Like, let's just see what happens. The volume went up. I mean, it's pre-market, but that means that this, whatever way that was going, when that kid off, this is not going to work as well in the pre-market. But that it probably started, it was going down when that clicked off there. But this is another good one. You guys know. And then, of course, I have the ATR on the day chart here, but you can put that on any. I do the one with no labels on my 1 minute chart, and I decided to do both because so many traders only trade off the original high-low, and then this is the RV strategy, the half, that it would only go half of one direction or half of the other. Why would it go all one direction? But you want both because you want to know what other people are thinking and what they're doing. Wow, look at this stock, how far this went down on a daily, huh? Jesus, that's $75. $82 down right there. That's because that whole software debacle. But we don't want to really trade this. Let's get off of this stock. So guys, I'm about to go into the whole introduction for the video that will be released other than the stream, the recap video. And they didn't get to hear any of my babbling. But yeah, tell me in an email where you think I'm wrong so we can actually have a conversation if you honestly think I'm wrong, not negative, nasty chat, because it won't ever get through anyway. When you swear and stuff, YouTube stops it automatically and then asks whether we want it to be put through. Charlie sees all that stuff. And she just, without even looking, just says no. So if you're saying the F word or this or that, nobody's going to ever see it. So I guess you're getting it out on your own, in your own mind, whatever. Or if you're trying to bring everybody down with something, usually it's you just don't understand what we're doing here, what we're showing here. So you just make this assumption with 2 minutes of watching or quick assessment of old videos, new videos, different styles, and you make this whole big statement, and you try to get it through on the chat to bring down all the trades. It will never come through. It's never going to come through. So you're just wasting your breath. Send me an email if you have questions, concerns, thoughts. I will respond. We can talk. It might take a little bit, but and then I will correct you. No, sorry. I will show you where you've gone wrong. Okay, let me go ahead and get into form here. Make sure we're all good to go. Everything's working. All right, I'm just ripping now. And here we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. I'm here with a group of people on Zoom and live streaming. You can see me live streaming every morning. Just put on your notifications and you'll see when I come on. I've been trading in the mornings. I might try a little later in the day. I didn't end up getting a power hour in this week because I was going to do it today and I have an afternoon appointment. But anyway, put on your notifications. What you're looking at here is a Thinkorswim layout. This is a 1 minute chart that I'll be trading on. We've got the news down here. This is a daily chart down here. It has the ATR special levels marked, the RV and the whole ATR, overall volume, how much per 1 minute candle. So I know right away when I come to the stock that it's got the volatility that I need, liquidity I need is the better way to say that. This is the active trader, level 2, 15 minute chart, 5 minute, 10 day, 5-minute 2-day, a 30-minute, a 1 hour, and a 4 hour, all reduced. So this can seem very, very confusing unless you start to get into watching some of the videos. You don't need to have this complicated of a layout. This market is going to open in about 5 minutes. I'll be doing what they call quarterbacking, calling the ball, but I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so you should obviously seek the advice of someone licensed before you try to emulate anything you see here. Some of the other indicators that you, like on this chart right here, I have the EMA 9, 20, and then the SMA based on the daily chart, a 50, 100, and 200, the VWAP. I have the ATR, multiple range will populate once the market opens. The candle tracker up here, which is very, very useful. It shows you the average of the last candles, what that total average is, and how much you should go up or down, and the spread. Also have the market magnet. It's kind of in the middle here, these arrows. You'll see me use that and show you how that works. That's basically the volume profile, but tweaked to show you in the moment what's going on. Multiple time alignment. That's what these lines going up are, vertical lines, showing you the different time frames that people trade, which are the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour charts. And knowing when the crowd trades, because more people trade on larger time frames, is very, very helpful when you're in the micro data of trying to pick your trade. You also have the buy-sell oscillator and the whole and half dollar, which will populate, and the MACD. I just noticed the buy-sell oscillator popped up an arrow here, and there's the MACD telling you it's going to go down, telling you it's going to go up. I usually use the buy-sell oscillator to get out. The arrows literally tell you. These are prop firm, designed for prop firm training, new traders. Really, really helpful stuff if you don't have them. And then, of course, the Scalp Pro meter, you'll get like 7 or 8 different ones of these if you got that from the $1 Million Margin Club. Very, very helpful. So that's why you might see crowded things here. On a strategy, I usually mark out the fibs based on Day Trading Volume 1. If you don't own that book, I recommend you get it. You do a 10-day fib. Remember, Fibonacci levels are always marked from left to right. They can be high to low or low to high, but always left to right. From the high low, you snap the line, and then these levels come in and they give you support and resistance levels. So I did, the yellow one is on a 10-day 5-minute, and the pink lines are on a 2-day 5-minute. They're going to create channels with ceilings and floors that help us decide, again, where are other people trading? They're going to trade at whole and half dollar levels. This is showing you, this is the market pulse. It shows you the overall market, QQ, SPY, TLT, and UVXY. This is really handy to know what's going on here. This is showing you whether you're in a trend. I mean, these are really helpful indicators, so I recommend you at least, now you can figure out all this data on your own. This is just when you're trying to make quick decisions. We're going to be doing the scalp and recoil strategy today. So what that means is really, and we're only trying to make about $100. When a stock goes quickly one way, we call that the strike. And it almost always recoils. It doesn't keep striking. It recoils. And then so when it goes one way, you hit the buy or sell to go the opposite way for a short period of time, seconds usually, unless it's really working for you, then you can hold it. But the strike and recoil is meant to go pretty quickly, and it's another word for that is called scalping. I'm just trying to make it seem easier. So we're scalping today. Okay, so if you're following along. Now we do have scanners that kicked off. This is our consolidation one. This is one that I coded. And it has all the things that we need to find the good stocks. This is another one. This is based on the volume, and I coded that one too. And these are all available if you didn't get them for free already. And then here's another one that is, this is based on the 50K per minute that it's going to move. Different price, more of a mid-cap one. And then I have a watch list as well. We're going to get into reading the bias, but let's watch the market open for a minute. Actually, let me get to MU for that so we can really. Now, I don't recommend that you trade here at all on this market's about to open in 28 seconds. I do not recommend at all that you take a trade on the first, even the first 15 minutes. So if you see me do it, I'm recommending you don't do it. I just want to make sure I get that out, okay? particularly on a stock like this. So we're going to have our share size very, very low today. There, see the whole and half dollar populated. Our ATR levels populated too. There's the high and low of the RV. Now look at, you're going to see this move. See how many dollars that just went through in a split second? That would have been like $100 trade in a split second there. And it could go the other way too. So that's why you have to be so careful. Stock like this, it can hop right over if you've set your trade on a ladder. Many of you don't know. That's not an automatic. It can hop right over it when it moves that fast. You learn that when you momentum trade. Thinking about getting in this, guys. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead, pick me up, see if it's going to hurt me bad. It could hurt me bad here, so you got to be careful. Or I could make $76 in a split second. So that was a highly risky trade because I had no data that that was going to go up. So when people say trading is gambling, that was gambling. So what I have data on knowing is it's going to go back and forth. So if it went against me, I would have had to say maybe $200 is all I want to lose, you know, if it just kept going the wrong way. But if it goes back and forth, then I wait for the green. Now, of course, if I'd waited longer, I'd have $200 right now. So, but that was just a total chance. So I just wanted to do a quick scalp. And I kind of just want to stay away from it now and count my blessings. I got my little thrill out on that one. What we really want to do is we want to wait for a consolidation. That's what I'm combining. I guess what's different about when I call it the strike and recoil, what's different about it, calling it just scalping, is I'm combining the RV strategy from Day Trading Volume 1, which is a large cap strategy based on a $25 billion minimum market cap stock, right? Where you see the ATR range, high and low, and you expect that stock to move up and down throughout the day in that ATR range. If it breaks through it, the average true range over a 14-day period, that's what the ATR is. If it breaks through it, then it's trending, and you can't really count on the consolidation, which means back and forth. Maybe you can ride it one way or the other if you like to short. A lot of people won't short, but say it's going up long, yeah, you could get lucky. And then you could look at the Fibonacci levels and the SMAs and see where might it stop, whole and half dollars. You could do that. You could ride a trend. I do it sometimes. But the essence of the RV strategy is kind of taking scalping and giving it a range rather than just in the micro. So, you know, you're trading large caps, which, you know, I'm not even going to give a percentage of time, but often will retrace back and forth, back and forth. So if you make a mistake, you often have an opportunity to get out of that situation. So like, let's take this stock here. So NVIDIA, which let me read our, we put together every day how overall is going to happen. So today, so SPY is supposed to be bearish. QQQ is bearish. AMD is bearish. NVIDIA is bullish. Interesting. So this one's going up while the other stuff's going down. Palantir bearish. MSTR bearish. Apple neutral. Tesla bearish. I really don't think so. I think Tesla's going to go up, but let's see. MU is bullish, which we were on a minute ago, and I made the $75 on. Coinbase neutral. These are ones that hit the scanners, guys. That's what I'm reading. Oracle neutral. Alphabet, Google bearish. Broadcom, Avco is bullish. TSMC is neutral. Amazon is bearish. That had bad news today. Netflix neutral. Alibaba, that's BABA, is bearish. And so these hit the scanners, and then also it's based on, you know, what else is being, what are the people that are giving the, what do you call it? The big brokerage, whether they're calling you, they're setting their goals for these stocks. God, why can't I think this morning? Anyway, it's taking all that into account. So grain of salt, whether you want to believe any of that. But I will use it I'll go back and forth to see if I'm trading a stock. Do I want to keep it? So it has been correct about NVIDIA. Right now, when you hear something like that go off, that's just the indicators telling me what's going on. And what that was, that we hit a trend. So it's interesting how it says trend down, but the old-fashioned phone ring. Let's stay on this for a minute. Now, normally to get that consolidating channel trading, so there is your ATR high already. Is that true? Yeah, there's the RV. So that would then be a trend. It's probably going to stop it. You can see so many people respect that. Stopped it dead, turned it around. It's making a tweezer move. Day Trading Volume 2, guys, the Candlestick Pattern Playbook. Make sure you have some sort of a pattern book. I like that one best because it rates them. You want to see what these little moves make, but if you've been around and listened to me talk, I don't give it much weight on a 1 minute chart till we get like 15 minutes in or so, any of these patterns. There's just too much shenanigans going on. Market preloaded market orders. See, this is what happened yesterday, right? It came down. I bought a dip, trading it biased. I got it at 175, kind of at that price, I think, 78. Then it went all the way down, and I added to the position until I had 200 shares, and I was down like $800 before it came back and recovered. It was painful. I held it into a swing yesterday. Ended up being green. Every day we've made our goal. When I say we, I mean me, and then the people that trade with me here. I don't know how everybody's doing out there in the. I know how the Zoom people are doing, but I don't know how the streaming people are doing. So I'm waiting. Boring, waiting till I can get this kind of consolidation action that is finding a floor and a ceiling, a floor and a ceiling. And then when I trade it carefully. If it breaches the channel, either one, like, do I get out? Do I ride it? Depending on which way I was in on it. It's just too soon to call any of these. Let's see what Apple's doing now that I have this chart all set up the way I like it. Go back to a mess. So Apple stopped dead. Wow, this is actually a pretty good one because, well, they both stopped at the ATR. So I think Apple we read wasn't Apple neutral? Apple, yeah, neutral on it as far as intraday, which is all I'm talking about. So it broke this. Wow. Now it's got a. So neutral stocks usually do give us the up and down channeling. So you want to look over here and make sure that in 10 or 15 seconds we're moving 10 or 15 cents, so that we at least get. It's close. It's moving to, there it was, 70 cents. Yeah, it moved 15 cents. Hit that for a split second there. So this is a tradable stock for scalping. You don't have too high a share size because it's more expensive, but that's what we trade here. And wow, it's really making a move, guys. And this is pretty high for Apple. So yeah, we've got a new high. Is that daily high? No, 288. It's got a ways to go. That fib is actually marking a turnaround level, so it's something to keep an eye on. It just broke it. Wow, it looks like it just flew up. Is it still going up? I'd kind of like to get into a dip here and trade this one. We are now 9 minutes in. If it gets closer to 279, I might give it a shot. But it's... I'm going to go ahead and get in there. So I'm going to try to take that for a short ride. And we got 19 bucks out of that. So that was a strike and a recoil. It struck down and then it recoiled. And that's how simple that was. But had I held it, it would have hurt me. So, right, because it kept going down. I had it at 11 cents, I think, or somewhere around there. It's right at that ATR, though, so I got to tell you, I should have just already got in right there. Yeah, there you already had the move there. Look at that trade had I got in there. I was busy explaining that, hitting that ATR. So this may do what we call the escalator strategy, where it bangs against the ATR, then takes off. It tested it once. You'd like to see it ride it a couple times and then burst out. So I would trade this long bias right now until it shows otherwise. This is a tradable stock here. So let's see if we can get a dip. Now we can also go short, but then you're not really trading long bias, but you get a chance for the recoil either way. You just can't overstay your welcome if you're going long bias. You better just, even if it's just like $5, you might want to just get out. They add up, guys. Those little trades will add up in a big way. Let me move this. I have a whole bunch of screens around me, so I'm taking my OBS over to this screen, which you just saw go by. Just so I can see what's happening better. All right, so it's also using the fib a little bit here, which is good to have the level. And then that's the whole dollar right there. The 280 is, wow. We tapped it twice. I'd love to see a bigger dip down in here so we can ride it back up. Then if it broke through the ATR, I'd get out. Now we have a little bit of a cushion to make a mistake. We made our goal today already because of the other trade, but that was kind of a wild trade. So I steered away from that, but you'll see me do those MU with like 500 shares and make $10,000 and so fast. So, depends on what you can afford, what your risk level is. You always want to have a day trading plan and with a maximum loss per trade and a maximum loss per day, and you want to stick to it. I needed a bigger dip. Break down to that ATR. Of course, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because when it goes that far, you're like, well, just keep going. It just could keep going. So you have to be prepared for it to keep going. Looks like it's stalling here around the 30. Oh, wow, 15 cents, 18 cents, 14 cents on the, I'm looking at the bid. Yeah, I already had a recoil there. I didn't pick it up. Can it go? I'm going to try to get it. When I get it, I got it at 14. I don't want to overstay this because it looks like it's dropping. So give me any kind of a decent $3 is not enough. Come on. A little bit more than that. Come on. Come on. You want to go up. Yeah, it seems like it's going to fade, right? Let me look at the Scalp Pro. I'm just going to get out. Try to get out there. Did I not get out? Oh, I didn't push. The ass didn't go through. I thought I pushed it. All right. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So I didn't. I just wanted to get out for a small gain and then try to get back in down here. All right. So if it doesn't hold this, I'm just going to take the loss here. I'm not going to average in to this. Come on. Come on, there I am. There I am, 33. There we go. It wasn't much. It started to move a little funky, so I just wanted to get out and reassess. There's the buy-sell oscillator moving it down. So we've had 3 good trades, 100%. Seems like that fib turned it around, or this 50 cent buy-sell oscillator says. Now that's based on relative strength index, that indicator, and that's no joke. it's like I had an email. I don't know how you know this stuff. It'll take me years to learn what you're learning now. It doesn't, guys. Anybody, you just put your head down and study a little bit. Watch my videos. The Bohemian students that did so well, they just said by watching the archive videos, they learned so fast because I talk through every trade. I talk through everything I see. You're not going to find that on most channels because they don't even live trade. And if they do, they don't know how to MC it, which is what they call in our world live commentary. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying look, people learn. I know many people prefer to read, and it's the only way they learn. I really like to watch and listen. I learn way better. I do read, but so it's a different way you want it. Maybe it's better to get some of the books, the $1 Million Margin Club books, or the Tom Hogarth, Best Loser Wins, or Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, or, I have links to a bunch of really good books. So we're right in the middle, so I can't really trade this. This is probably a good time to see what's going on here. Okay, so this NVIDIA is now up $4. Palantir's even money. Amazon is up because it kind of did its dip. AMD is way up. Thank God. I got a swing on that on another account. I almost averaged into that when it was down to 189, but I just said, wait it out. Again, it's going to go up. It was 260 a week ago, and now it's 204. I mean, it's stupid the way that the emotion of the market. Because the need for chips hasn't changed, so that's why that's what I call stupid. MU's now up $5. Tesla's up $6. How they said Tesla was going to go down, I said I didn't believe it. There it goes, $6 up. I'm looking at the scanner that I coded. This is it right here. So I can quickly see the open and the mark and then see how many dollars it's up. This also has the spread, which I coded into it, which is very, very handy. And then what's the share size, on a 1 minute candle, so that you know that you're getting the liquidity to make your scalps. So that's why you need a special scanner that's going to give you this information. It's not just every large cap, how do they move? So trading's boring. I'm rambling on. It stopped right in what I would consider to be the channel here, right in the middle. So it's a recipe for me to make a bad trade. I need it to be at one end near a ceiling or near a floor to get in. And if I'm trading at long biased, which I still am, you can see right now, on a 5 minute, so don't lose track in the micro data here. It's definitely long, but that's what we call a rickshaw, man, on a 5 minute. That's a sign for a reversal right at that fib level. These fib levels are no joke because everybody sets them up the same way. You're trading with the crowd. What are they going to do? Oh, that's a resistance. Get out. Sell. Go short. And that's what happened. I mean, it won't happen every time, but it's just a little bit more data to help you decide. Then you look at volume. This is showing you inside the 1 minute candle. That's why this is such an amazing indicator, showing the strength of it as it moves. Apple's a really safe stock to trade. See how slow it's moving? It's just... We're now 18 minutes in, 3 minutes after when I would recommend that it's okay to trade the scalp and recoil, about 15 minutes into the market. Now we're on the New York Stock Exchange, East Coast of the United States. And all the big strategies like the RV strategy and such start a half hour after market opens. Is that going to hit down again? Now that was it. Damn. I thought the way that went down, I thought we were going to get it, really another opportunity, but that just tapped it and took off. It was a 58 cent trade in a split second there. $25, boom. Wow. So now I'm thinking to go short up here as it gets near the 80. I'm going to go ahead and see if I get that. Tried to get in right at 80 cents. It needs to pick me up. It's twice it's hit 80, but not pick me up. The recoil is getting weaker, so I'm going to get out of that trade and try to get it higher now. 80, there's 81. Oh, it looks like it is going to fade. Damn! 2 trades I missed. Yep, 30, 40 cent trade right there. Didn't pick me up. I don't know if you noticed, but I was here moving back and forth. It hit it once and then didn't pick me up. We have fairly low share size compared to what's being traded here. So I look at the ask when I'm trying to get in this way, but the spread's so tight that, you know, I could just do market. That's how they make their money, you know. Charles Schwab's own little dark pool. But they'll fill me. Wow. There we go. I got it at 86. Now is it gonna just wreck me here and keep going? I'm looking for a recoil now. Let's get a recoil back down. Way down there. Come on. Come on. Bigger than that. Let's get a bigger recoil. Come on. Bigger recoil. $4. We did not take this trade to make $4. I could have made money. The longer it takes, the scarier that it's done, the most recoil it's going to do. And you should have just taken it, right? It should just be, you know, it needs to fade off the 280 here. Come on. 280 is the high. Oh, not good. All right, so now I've got to make a choice pretty soon here. We'll get very quiet. Yeah, I should have just gone for the $4. Here we go. Apple's really making a move, guys. Now I could go in and get my get up to closer to 280 if I added up to 50 shares. This is the trap, right? That it keeps going and then you suddenly nice and red. Wanted to go long biased, and here I am doing against my own better judgment. If I do add, I'm going to add on market so it adds fast. That would get me right around 280 still. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I'm at 280.11. And I'll buy out to get out on a move. I'm just trying to make it a lesser loss, but it could backfire on me here. So let's see. I was only in 1/3 of my position. Looking for a big dip now. It's almost like not a recoil anymore. So I was at 29. So I made $12. I could have held it longer, but I was out of the strategy there. I was just doing moves to save myself that scalpers will do when you call it wrong. I really only want to trade long biased on this if I keep trading it. That was my unwillingness to take a loss. So I took a chance and it paid off. Might not have though, so you've always got to remember that. Now I run at about 90% accuracy. On this strategy, RV strategy, I'm 90, 91%. On this strategy, I'm more like 80, sometimes in the 70% range, but 80, 85 maybe. So I have the confidence to do stuff like that. Sometimes that can be the kiss of death, to have such confidence. Okay. You know, nobody, no matter what they tell you, nobody really knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows, you know. We can take some pretty educated guesses so it's not gambling anymore. That's why I like these indicators. And all the indicators are doing what you should be able to figure out on your own. You don't need any indicators. So people say, oh, you're tired of all the indicators? Well, that means either they're lying, which is highly likely, or they read the data without needing indicators, because it's all here for us to read if you just look at it. It's just that it's way easier to just have somebody tell you on the screen like, hey, you know. So that's why indicators are better. But there's no magic formula as to, you know, you will win on this stock if you buy this indicator, you know, no such thing. So now is 280 the low. Okay, so market magnets coming in, you see that? So let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to go in because of that. Can I get picked up in time? The magnet just sprang up. That's like a springboard. So it's going to pop this up. Please pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Cancel. Too long to pick me up. Magnet went back down. Yeah, because it's a springboard, it did go up, but not as much as I would like to have seen it go up. So this is price volume that's just happened. This is the mean center of it. So all these people have taken trades in here. They already have them. They own them, short or long. So that is the crowd in real time. And if it's above the magnet, it usually pulls it up, the price action up. Usually, not always. And it might take a minute. It might take 60, 30, 60 seconds. But I got out just because it was acting a little funky, so I didn't stay in that potential of getting in that trade. It's a little breakdown going on here. We hit a little bit of a flat top here. This level is right around 35-ish, 34. I smooth. That's what they call smoothing. You just hit across the candles, kind of pick an average and make a level. May or may not be respected. If it comes back and taps it and goes down, we have a new ceiling. Just that simple. That you only respect until it breaks it. Then you stop respecting it. Buy-sell oscillator. Okay, that's the relative strength index. That is a rickshaw man. That's a reversal sign here saying that this has gone down enough and it's going to go back up if you read your patterns, if you know how to read your patterns. The candlestick pattern playbook, guys, but it didn't do it. Like I said, it might do it. Wow, I'm going to go ahead and take that. Can it pick me up? That's at 36. Oh, come on. Too long. Too long for the recoil. I'm out. Yep, because it blew past it. It would have picked me up. I would have made it. I would have made the money. Yeah, too bad. But I just don't like it when it doesn't pick me up. Is it going to go all the way down to that 279, that ATR? It's breaking the fib on the 5-minute. You see it's that 50-cent level. Whole dollars and half dollars, guy. You can't see the gray line because it's under the fib. It's like a double whammy here. Yep, that was it. That would have been a good trade, but I didn't get in. So this is the problem with using ask and bid, that you don't always get in. Sometimes it's better just to use the market and get a little bit worse position. So I've just been staying with this. I'm sure there's more exciting stocks. Yeah, $5 up on NVIDIA. That's really moving. What's Tesla look like? $7 up, man. Now, that's a risky stock, but it is interesting to maybe take. Why don't we go take a look at that? This is getting boring. I'm getting bored here. Never take a trade out of boredom. Okay, so I even have a trend line marked on Tesla here. I see that's from a day. That slightly angled red line is marked on a day. Let me see how I did that. Yeah. Now that's a pretty decent trend there if it hits that. And you can see, I see the 50 moving average up there. Right now, buyers strong on the meter. We're above the ATR. Okay, so this has got a lot of stuff to read. We're right in the middle of the magnet. Let me lower this to 25 shares. Let me get an idea of how fast this is moving. No, we can do 50 shares on this. Okay. So each one of these is 50 cents. So that's $1, $1.50 range roughly. Here's your range, average range. That's what it's saying, to go down, go long. If you're going long, don't go over 50 cents to be safe. This is telling you when to get out. You don't need to listen to it, but it's just like a guidance. And you can see some of these. It was the larger range was on the down candles. 407 would be a buy for me. That was a bad. I didn't get out in time. Yeah, I didn't want 413. I didn't want 413. Oh boy. I mean, it's just pennies off what I wanted, but it can make a difference. Yeah, it seemed like it was coming down to go back up, but that doesn't mean it will. So Tesla's going to be much bigger numbers, much quicker. Risky stock to trade. Come on. Get up here. The point of no return is way down here. That's a lot of money on 50 shares, so ouch. Oh boy. Okay. So what do I want to call here? I have no problem holding this into a deeper move. There's a 5 minutes. 5 minutes starting. There we go. So I could have got out there, but I was looking for a real pop because the volume went up on the buyers, so it looks like it's about to move. Man, I don't like the way this is moving. I'm going to try to get out green, just any green here. Reassess this if I get an opportunity again to take a small green. It's just pounding down, so. Yeah, it's not recoiling proper for this. Instead, it's just hurting me, so. Should have got out. This is always the case with these, that there's a chance to get out and you don't take it. So. Now I'm deep. I'm down to the ATR. I'm going to go ahead and take a big chance, guys. Big chance here. Thrilling, exciting. Didn't pick me up. Taking too long. I'm getting out. Seems to be reversing course on us. Inquiry. Was that 10 a.m.? No, that was a story that just happened. Oh, I didn't see that. ATR turned it around, but that story is actually bad news for Tesla. So I did not see that. It happened 2 minutes ago, right when I went long, roughly, or as I was going long. I just want to get out of this trade. Yeah, I'll just sell market if it just gets up there. I might take a lesser loss here. It could fade right. There we go. Come on. One more pop. Need the prayer indicator. Got to get the prayer indicator. There is one. See, I held this because it looked like it was really going to pop. Yeah, okay, I'll just take that. $12. I got nervous. When 50 shares can make you nervous, it's exciting, huh? This story, it got me worried. I don't want to trade it because of that story, because I can't trust anything right now. You don't know how long it takes for people to see it, how big a story it's really going to be. See, this one is moving, just consolidating. Let's look here first. That was 8 cents. Moving roughly 4 to 8 cents. There's the range. So the question is how fast. Yeah, so it's definitely moving enough to trade, and for scalp and recoil, I mean. Let's set this one up. This one looks very calm. Has a high at the top of the market magnet here. It was just below $40. Would be a good spot to short. Let me just make sure the new stock drops. Historic crypto. Yeah, so. Yeah, so this should be short biased, I would think. That didn't hit the scanners before, huh? Yeah, I don't have that on our readings. Nope, must not have hit the scanners. All right. Until now. All right, I'm going to look to go short up here, anywhere near the $40 range. This is actually close enough. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Wow, it took twice to fill that. That's not good. Where's our high? It's over here. It's not marked. Must be pre-market high then. I'll just take a small gain there, 11 bucks. So we're doing pretty good today. Let's see what we got. 141. So we're over what our goal was. It's not bad. What's our time? We got time, so I can trade a little longer into this. So short bias based on the news, which was not that long ago, 6 minutes ago, so 8 minutes ago. Yeah, missed the earnings. Really kind of surprised it's not going down more than this. Now, when you see these shadow wicks and algorithmic moves, your layout might not show this. I'm pretty sensitive and have a really high-speed computer. And even sometimes it doesn't even hit the price. You wouldn't be able to take opportunity. It's like somebody else on a high frequency algorithm gets the opportunities to hit these prices. So just don't be concerned about that. This is real. This is really happening. It's not an illusion. I've heard it all. This arm, man, every time I work out, I keep tweaking it. It's got an injury that just won't go away. So today's Friday. I am planning to trade some next week, but I leave Wednesday for Mexico. So Monday might be my last day live trading for a week to 10 days, and then I'll be back. You'll see the Alan will put up the or Charlie will put up the streaming sort of video to get people ready that shows about the channel. So that'll run if you want to watch that. It's pretty long. It's like 5 hours long. It has a lot of information if you haven't seen it yet. So that'll be up while I'm gone on a rotation, and then I'll come back and trade. In the meantime, read some of the books, or if you're not used to trade in a simulator. I don't want to go long, so I have to go short biased on this. So that looks like a really good support, but this could just really break down right now. This is fantastic churning. We like this. Again, it has a catalyst though, so the more I think about it, the more I don't feel comfortable trading this. What else can we get into? Geez, I haven't looked at Hood in a while. That's up $8 right now. Yeah, because crypto, remember I told you a couple days ago, crypto was at the bottom? Well, I was right. It wasn't really me. Somebody told me, but yeah, it's. I think it's making its move back up. A lot of my cryptos accounts are way down. I own a couple of Bitcoins, and I have a lot of money invested in Ripple, which is way down from where its high was. And I have an acquaintance that made $80 million on crypto. It happens. That was not me. That money was not shared with me. And now I hate him. No, I don't. Okay, so that's going to go up based on that reading. There it goes here inside the candle. There it goes there. I could have got on that. I'm just still not, I haven't fully assessed this one yet. Do I want 50 shares on this? So on Hood, I can go up to 250 shares and stay under margin on this account. Nice. That was a real move that was called out by this indicator before I even took, and the MACD said, now the buy sell oscillator is saying turned around at like 8150 would be the high here. And really it's done its range rise already. I wouldn't go short here though. I want to see if it's going to swale back up, make a higher high, or if it stops for a lower low. What was Hood's bias today? That was not on the chart either. I thought for sure that was. Says weak bullish. That's what Charlie has here. I don't know. Well, you put it there. All right. Seems pretty strong bullish right now, doesn't it? I mean, it's way up. Yeah, it opened at $72 and it's all the way up to 81. Way down there. It kind of did hit a high here. I mean, it seems like that. I mean, it flat topped there quite a bit is what I mean by that. So this is probably a good spot to short if it gets up there again. This is straight up too, so it's kind of, it looks like it's overextending as it heads toward 82. So I will take a short at 82, and then if it gets to 82.50, I will decide whether to add or lick my wounds and take a loss. Yeah, it already faded off. Yeah, that did not call it right, the buy-sell oscillator. The MACD called it right based on EMA. This is based on relative strength. And this is your target. These arrows are from your range target. Now they put arrows, I put arrows on these because I designed these for Thinkorswim to help the new traders for prop firms not even have to think. But, you know, they should be asking, as should you, is why did that say go up? You know, you should know, and you eventually know, so you don't have to have an arrow tell you which way to go. And also, they won't always be right. Here's a case. Buy-sell oscillator is never as right as the MACD. Average-wise, there's a mathematical breakdown of it on the $1 Million Margin Club and the Toolbox series. If you want to read about how these work, it actually has the formula on the Toolbox series on the $1 Million Margin Club's channel. There's a free indicator over there. You should get that. It's totally free. And then buy all their others while you're there. They give it away free, so you go there and then hopefully buy some of the books they have, which are really the best books, I think. And then I'm a walking commercial for them. It is their brand ambassador. So we're right at the magnet here. And volume increased as it was going down. So we expect it to go down more. Remember what I say on the volume increasing, it's like you're on this wave and it's cresting, and then you want to ride it, you know, as it breaks for a short period of time before you hit the rocks. Unless you're going short, then maybe you want to hit the rocks. So it already did its move down a little bit more because it was up in here. Yeah, why didn't I pick that up actually? Yeah, I'm going to actually go into that, guys, because I think it might still go down more, but I'll add to it. I just don't want to miss it in case it doesn't go down and comes right back. So it made a lower low, which means we'd expect it to go down here, or lower high, I mean. So we expect it to go, it might make a lower low, and then I'll, coming from swing trading, I work my way into the position. These are much lower numbers, much more manageable to deal with until they're not. It looked like it might have turned around. That's the 9 and the 20. So I got in before the level that really I should have tried to get in. That's only 20 cents. It's almost stupid to add to that. It's just too close to the other position. I'm going to smooth the level down here just in case I have to. That would be like at 41. MACD's sending it down, not a good sign. And I see volume coming in below the magnet, so that's also going to send it down. So I'm actually, I don't want to try to go for a lot of profit if I have a chance here to get out, because the data is sending it down right now further, stronger than I wanted it to be. So adding was an idea, but now I'm not real thrilled about it. I was actually looking for a faster stock, and I ended up with a slower stock. But we hadn't done Hood, so for a while. I used to trade this a lot when it was around $100 even. Oh. That is a price level based on what? I'm not sure. Oh, I just smoothed that out. Okay. Wow, see how that actually was respected? Weird, huh? That's just kind of a smooth level. I might just take a lesser loss here. It'll ruin my average, though. I'm 100% on the trades right now, so should I worry about that? Probably not. I'll just take a small trade here. I kind of want to go back to see if Tesla is still doing its thing here. 406. That's kind of where it was, right? So its volume just increased on it, going which way? Up. Oh, man, look at how it respected that ATR, guys. So this is just calling to be traded here. So its high is at 409. The ATR is at 405. It was supposed to be bearish. I thought it was going to go up based on the price mostly, that it's a pretty good deal from where it had been. Fairly recently. Let's go back down to 25 shares of this, because I remember getting scared over here. We already have a winning day, so we don't want to do anything to ruin it. If you've made your goal, you should stop. That's one of the rules you should have. If you made your goal, stop. Go on about your day. We have, I have a few more minutes to trade before I have to get ready for the next session. And that would mean that we're green since I came back every day. And we're on our way to well, I'm going to be gone for a week, 10 days, so I don't know. I'd like to still get us to 2 or 3K, so we'll see. Let's watch this magnet activity here. It's even push from it, so it's just going to draw right to it right now, because you can see that the price action is right on either side almost evenly. Okay, it pulled it up. It went up with it like a springboard. It's a long way from passing that volume, though. You can see here. Short biased. If we get up here, there's 48. They're going to reject off the 48 even dollar. Now, normally you will see me trade with 500 shares or something, so it's a lot more exciting on those. You can watch some of those demonstration videos to see the possibilities of $15,000 in 30 minutes. But man, it's not for the faint of heart, and it's just showing you the possibilities in a perfect world of how it could happen for traders. So you need to be very, very careful when you try to emulate that trading style. I have many, many, many years of experience doing that kind of stuff, so, and commentating it, But being a professional quarterback, somebody that calls trades for people, there's no really such thing as a professional quarterback, because that would mean you're licensed to give advice. So what you're a professional at is calling out what you see and what you're going to do. Everybody is responsible for their own trades. So Rickshaw Man here. Reversal sign off the 408 already showing. Buy sell oscillators. Oh, see, but look this come in. See the creeping enemy. Oh, it faded off fast. Boom, it went down. Okay, I was going to say, like, that could have pushed it up. I should have gone off the 408, guys. There was already a recoil there, right? 40-cent recoil. Boom. Yeah, I'm very low share size because I want to make sure we keep what we have today, guys. So if you're trying to emulate, careful with this stock. Oh, that was 14 minutes that went by very quickly. Even Tesla's moving slow. Jeez. AMD kind of stopped around 205 now. MU's up, still just up $4. Apple's up $2 now. Nvidia's up $5. Amazon's up $2. Started going down. I guess it already made its correction. Ooh. I want to make sure I get in. So 64, not ideal, but it's not where I really wanted it, but I wanted to get in the trade because it looked like it was about to go straight down. So now that was the volume sending it up. I understand that, but I'm looking for a recoil on that. So let's hope I get it and I didn't make a foolish move here, because it looks like it's going to keep going higher. This is why 25 shares is not so painful now. So it broke. It keeps making a higher high. So we needed to reject up here. Getting ready to add up to 50 shares. Looking for a recoil. I want to get it, if I do, I want to get it to where I'm closer to 409 in my position, because that's very doable to make money on. It's getting closer to $1 off my position there. I don't like to see that. Here it comes down now. Now it might just go really floor down here, so let's see. I'm at 64 cents, so I'm looking at the bid here. Had I added up here, I would have been out for a profitable trade already. Getting closer to my position there. It's banging down. Here we go. Bigger move. Let's do a bigger move, and we'll take that. $34 there. So now we've got, yay, 168. Okay, guys. Let's see, when did I start that? Oh, I think I took that video over an hour. I just stopped the regular recording that's going to be on the recap. When it goes to be edited on Canva, it can't be longer than an hour, so then you got to go to DaVinci, and just, that's our problems. But I will have a recap video about this with some other information in the end, so make sure you wait for the end. And by watching it, not going to the end. I hope you guys did good this week. I think we got through some trials yesterday, came back and did okay. And we have a pretty good week. I'll put up TradingView numbers next week so we can see how we did here. And yeah, so I will see you guys next week. And be careful out there. Look for the recap. All right, guys? Go green. Stay green.